Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the EK Hatch here. Today we're just going to be doing some light upgrades. The stock headlights in this vehicle are absolutely terrible. The reflectors, they come with a halogen bulb and they're just super dim. You can't see anything on the road. So my plan is to go ahead and put some LED bulbs in there. Hopefully that'll kind of brighten things up a bit with the reflectors. And if that doesn't fully do it, I've gone ahead and gotten some fog lights as well for the bottom. That should help at least. Here, we're just gonna go ahead and unbox these fog lights and show you guys what actually comes with them. I think I got these off of Amazon. Not really sure what they were called. I'll put a link in the description of what they actually were. So as you can see, they come with obviously the fog light housings. I went with the yellow. My STI has yellow fogs, so I'm just gonna keep that trend going. Comes with the housings. I was under the influence that they would be black, but it looks like they come in a kind of a nice gunmetal gray almost. Comes with a couple brackets for mounting them to the bumper. Pretty sure they all fit in the stock locations. We'll find out when we do the install. The wiring harness. I don't believe that this is a stock location wiring harness. You do have to thread it through the firewall. But it does come with a switch that'll fit into the stock location, which is nice. The main harness that goes to the fogs, another little harness, I think that's for the switch. So that guy just plugs into here. I think this is just an extender for if you want to route it a specific way. You can extend your line. Some tie wraps. Looks like a splice little thingy. And then all the hardware that's necessary to mount it up to the bumper. Pop open the hatch here, break my bulbs. So it looks like Honda gives you little latches here that you can just pull open. Just give them a little pull. And it gives you access to where the bulbs actually go, which is quite nice. You don't gotta pull apart your whole interior just to access your bulbs. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and pull the old ones out and we'll show you how that's done. All right, so once you got your trim pieces pulled off there, you're gonna wanna pull out you're just gonna twist them and pull them out. The one up top here is gonna be your, for your brake lights. And then the one that's closest to the hatch is gonna be your reverse light. So I'm just gonna go ahead and spin those and pull them out so we get access to the bulbs and we can switch them out. You want to have some gloves on or something like that. The oils in your skin are gonna come off if you touch the bulbs, and it's just gonna deteriorate the bulb a lot faster and they're not gonna burn as good. And you'll notice that you won't have as long of a life with them if you touch them with your bare hands. So I always wear gloves when I'm changing my bulbs. So these are my stop braking light bulbs. So we'll put one in here and just put it back in place. And we're gonna test them out before we put them in just to make sure that they're working. So we just did a little test, they work perfectly. So I'm gonna go ahead and fish this back into the hole, twist it in place. And we'll have one side done already. And we'll just go ahead and put the little trim piece back in. Done. On to the other side. So we'll go ahead and put the trim piece back in. Click it in place. And we'll go ahead and move on to doing the license plate lights. All right, so for the hatch, just gonna wanna pull it down a little bit. You wanna grab onto the little shield and you wanna pull it outwards towards the outside of the car and pry it open. And they just go ahead and pull out. There's a clip on the back, press it down, pull it out. So we'll do that for both of them. Flip off. Take these over to the bench and we'll change the bulbs out. All right, so we got the bulbs over here, or the housings over here at the bench. We're gonna go ahead and open up the new LEDs. And for these housings, there's just 2 gray clips on the side here. You just grab them, push them in, and they pull out real easy. While they're apart, you might want to give them a nice little clean. Go ahead and pull these bulbs out and put the new ones in. And we'll take a minute here and clean these, and we'll be back in a sec. So we got the lenses all cleaned up. We're just gonna go ahead and put them back in place. Take these over to the car and get them put back in. All right, we're back over at the hatch here. So we'll just go ahead and slide the connectors back in. Real easy little upgrade for your car that really goes a long ways. Having good visibility for me when I'm driving this car every day is huge. It just gives it a more modern look, I find. When you see a car drive by you that has the LEDs for their license plate, you notice them right away and it looks a lot better. Bada bing. All right, we're at the front of the car here. We're gonna get the headlights done. Just go ahead and open up your hood, obviously. First look under the Civic hood. Ooh, look at that thing. So open, so easy to work on. No AC, no power steering, nothing. When I come down here, pull the connector out, dual filament, so they do your highs and your lows. These are pretty gross, so we'll probably go ahead and clean them up. And there's this rubber grommet that goes around it. Just wanna grab on that, give it a pull. Put it off to the side, just push on that little pin down there, bring it up, it releases the pin, or the little arm there, pull it back, and then you just go ahead and you pull your bulb straight out. So this particular Civic has the HB2s, that's what this bulb is called, 3-pin style in the back. Here's the LEDs, ballast I'm guessing, or a driver of some sort. My only concern is getting that rubber grommet back on. We might have to do a little bit of cutting and try and feed it through first, maybe. We'll have a look and see what we can do. All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of modifying to the grommets here. We tried quite a few times. You almost had it. If you really were persistent, you might be able to do it yourself. We're just gonna cut this little lip here off in hopes that that's just enough to allow it to get in there. And it should still provide a decent seal at that point. We'll go ahead and we'll feed this through. In the end, that's probably how it's gonna have to sit. We'll pull this off, we'll get it put back in, get the arm on, and then we'll have to feed this over top of it all afterwards. As you guys can see in the video, probably these connectors are pretty gross. Probably want to take the extra time and the money it's going to cost to go ahead and get some sort of electronic cleaner right in there. Do a little clean out, and you take some compressed air or whatever you have and just blow it out to get all the moisture out. It is quick dry though, so it will dry up quite a bit. Spray a bunch in there, give it a wipe out, and try and get as much of that gunk, the old dielectric grease, out of there as you can. And then when you're done that, we're gonna go ahead and put more dielectric grease in there for the new connection. We got that connection all cleaned out. We're gonna go ahead and slide the new LED in and then thread it through the grommet, put it back in place, and then we'll grease up the connection and put it back together and test it out and see if it works. Getting the little arm to clip onto the LED is a little bit tougher with the heat sinks. They're quite a bit bigger than the existing bulbs. Especially on this side, we got the driver's side in, no problem. There's more room to play around. But on this side, the air box is kind of in your way. So we're just gonna go ahead and pull this 10 mil off. So you got one here, and it looks like you got one down here, and then one on the right side there too.
Hey Dax, you need a bigger extension? Now here's a long extension.
Big boy in the city. Friggin' outer space with this thing. There she is. Just takes a little manpower. All right, with the air box out of the way, we got a lot more room to come down here and work. That LED in place, get the clip down. I find taking a little flathead, prying it down, is your best bet.
Dax is getting hot. You gotta take off his jacket.
Hot and heavy. So we're just gonna go ahead and put a little dielectric grease on the connector here, just to ensure a good electrical connection and just keep some of the moisture out of there, hopefully. We're just gonna test it out before we put the rubber grommet back on. So we're just gonna slide it in place and make sure everything's working before we struggle with that grommet. Work smart, not stupid. All right, so we got the rubber grommet back on. It does fit over top of it. It's a little bit of a tight fit. I'm not sure how well it will work with the heat sink. Might want to take a flathead and just try and push it down. Connected it back up. We're gonna grab a couple tie wraps and just clean this up. I think just right here is fine. I'm guessing that these are gonna give off a lot of heat. So you're gonna wanna have them try and touch in metal and not something that's gonna melt. And then I'll throw a tie wrap down here just to prevent any sort of pulling on the connection. Kind of a specialty tool that you guys probably won't have. They're just flush cuts or for zip ties. Nothing's worse than working in an engine bay with zip ties that have been cut without these things. They leave a nice sharp edge that'll just tear your hand open so easily and so fast. Get them up onto the little square that you pull it against, and they'll actually cut it flush up to it so that there's no edge to cut you on. Another way you can do it is if you get just some pliers, twist them, and it doesn't leave quite as sharp as an edge as it does cutting them. That's another alternative for a cheaper option if you don't want to go and buy these. All right, so with the headlights reassembled, we're gonna go ahead and slide the air box back in.